So, for those folks who are just tuning in and starting to watch with us, this is kind of our start of our professional series. Today and for the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be talking with Miranda Monroe. She's a dear friend of mine, as well as someone who I've used personally. She's a registered dietary nutritionist, and she owns Grand Traverse Nutrition. So, hi, Miranda. Thanks
Hi,
for
Jessie.
Hi.
It's nice to see your face.
I know, it's so good to see you too. It's
Different
like, and
face.
I love my husband, but we're just kind of cooped up, so it's nice to see someone new.
Yeah.
So, how have you been hanging in there?
Oh, good. Just, doing things that I love, like playing with food and, getting some exercise and taking time to just sort of, make peace with what's going on in this crazy world right now.
Absolutely. I've definitely found while it's, obviously an unfortunate event, I feel kind of guilty because I'm enjoying it a little bit, just the slow pace and getting back to basics. And I think in that aspect, it's been pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely getting back to basics. I think everybody's sort of exploring and uncovering, what's really important to them. So, yeah.
Definitely. Cool. Well, this series, I kind of wanted to start to introduce my clients to the professionals who I refer to and also work with, and also give your clients a chance to kind of get to know me as well. So I think today, let's just kind of explain who we are and what we do, and maybe why we got interested in doing what we do.
Yeah. Okay.
So go
So
ahead.
yeah, if you I know I do have a lot of people ask me, like, well, how did I become a dietitian? What got me interested in food? And it's really been, a lifelong passion. I grew up in a foodie family, right from a young age. My grandparents always had a veggie garden.
Nice.
And I remember my grandpa, he taught me how to tell if the carrots were big enough to pull because you'd run your finger around the top of them in the dirt.
Yeah.
And if they were big enough, then we just yank them out, rinse them under the garden tap, and eat them right there.
Nice.
And he grew cabbages in between his rose bushes in the front garden.
Oh,
So
I love it when like landscape is dual purpose like that. That's so cool.
yeah.
Awesome.
And then we always got together as family. Our family dinner parties for birthdays and things were legendary. The extended family would get together and we'd explore recipes and spend all day together prepping, and then we'd cook and serve in the evening, and it would take all night. Sometimes we'd have 6 courses,
Oh my goodness.
and it would take all night, but it was really quality time together.
Yes.
And we got to experiment with a lot of different things, and I'm hoping that with people having more time at home right now because they're not commuting, and we've just got the stay at home orders, that they're having some fun playing with their food and experimenting a bit.
Absolutely. Now, you also work with not only athletes and sports nutrition, but kind of like the specialty nutritions. And that's actually how I kind of, not only did we work in offices next to each other, obviously that's how we met. But I know when I first started working with you as my nutritionist, it was actually to help solve some gut issues. So tell us a little bit about what you do in terms of, I guess, specializing, whether it's sports or more specifics.
Well, as a registered dietitian, I can really work with a whole range of medical concerns or health concerns. But I do a little bit with food sensitivities and food intolerances.
Yeah.
When I was getting interested in nutrition, I was starting to pay attention to how food made me feel,
Yes.
and especially as an active person, what gave me energy to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I can definitely help people identify, any food intolerances. There's a few different ways we can do it. Everybody's different, so it's we just can explore that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you were the one that helped me find that I'm gluten intolerant. So, forever grateful for that one. Now, you mentioned that you're active. I myself, obviously, as a good friend, know that you are, but were you active as a kid? What do you do now to stay active? And how do you find that kind of meshes with your nutrition?
Yeah, well, as a kid growing up in Australia, we had to walk or bike a lot of places. We didn't have, you only had one family car.
Yeah.
So we had to walk to school, and if we wanted to go visit friends, we had to get ourselves there.
Nice.
In school we had a whole lot of different sports, from track to basketball. Netball is an Australian girls' game. And I played court hockey.
Nice.
So ice hockey is not a thing in Australia. We played on a basketball court, basically.
Nice.
Um, and then I got into dance and all through the aerobics phase. So I was
Yeah.
just always on the move. So I
Nice.
definitely needed energy.
Absolutely.
And then coming over here, I mean, the last 8 years or so, I've gotten into running. So I always walked or biked or hiked or kayaked, those sort of things. But I met somebody who was an Ironman athlete,
Yeah.
and I figured, well, I couldn't keep up with him on the bike. And swimming, you can't really sort of socialize.
Right.
So I took up running so that I could do some training with him.
Nice.
And since then, I've done 3 marathons, 2 of them in Boston,
Nice.
numerous half marathons, and just other shorter races. And, I love running because it's the sort of thing you just need a pair of decent shoes and you can do it anywhere. Doesn't matter, where you're traveling in the world, or
Yeah.
you can just get up and go, and you can enjoy the scenery. It's a good way to sightsee
Yeah. It's a
and
good
just
way to
sort of
blow off
feel
steam and
good.
kind of stress release too. This body wasn't meant to run, so I'm envious of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think that's a great way to get out for sure. And that's funny. I didn't realize that that's what got you into running. So Martin,
Yeah.
only a client of mine, but which is also Miranda's significant other, also good friends with.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't realize that
Yeah.
you got into running to help train with him. I think that's so cool.
Yeah. And then, and now, and I also do spin classes and strength training and things like that because I just have always been active. It's, just part of my lifestyle. But I've also sort of treat myself as my greatest experiment. So I'm always playing around with, when I'm running or whatever,
Yeah.
different fueling strategies to
Yeah.
see, what works. And that's something that I really do work with people on, is
Right.
because everybody's different. Everybody's got different tolerances. Everybody's got different fitness levels. So it's really learning, what works for you, but there's different ways we can work through that. But I know when I get it wrong, and I do get it wrong, but it feels really good when you get it right. And so
Absolutely.
it's just having all those sort of memories, all those learning experiences in your back pocket. So,
Absolutely. Well, I know next episode we're going to talk more about like our certifications and our actual schooling and why credentials are so important for both what we do. So I won't get into that too much today, but I just think it is important to note that like our personal experience can shape us so much in our professional life. And I just think that that's such a great example of that, kind of how it has kind of guided you with where you are now. That's just,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool.
So,
Awesome.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I love, yeah, and sports nutrition is definitely my passion, because of my lifestyle.
absolutely.
But I love getting people, because I'm excited about food and I love cooking and I love eating. And
Yeah,
when I travel, the first thing I do is look at where am I going to eat, what
yeah,
foods am I going to try,
I know.
and so I just I'm excited to turn other people on to good food and healthy eating and having fun with it. So
Absolutely. Well, again, just to be able to kind of speak as like I, used to be, am your client, sort of. I mean, you turned me on to Fairlife milk, so I'm lactose intolerant, more so with certain foods than others. Like I haven't had a normal glass of like dairy milk in years.
mm-mm.
So kind of okay with ice cream, yogurt's fine, hard cheeses are fine. But you turned me on to Fairlife just as the brand name, and I like preach it to everybody. And
Yeah,
of course, it's outside my scope to kind of, give nutritional advice to my clients. So I'm always referring to you. But that's one thing that people, as they start to talk to me on the table and open up about different, how they're feeling, not only in their body, but with their gut. I'm always like preaching Fairlife,
yeah.
Fairlife to everybody. But one of the things I think that's really cool, and if you want to just touch on it briefly, how you were just saying you experiment with yourself, I think it speaks a lot to you. And one of the reasons why I respect you so much in your field is because, like you said, you try stuff on your own. You're not necessarily knocking stuff before you try it. And I know just recently, maybe first quarter of this year, you were trying a little bit of a vegetarian diet just to see
Mhm.
how that can affect things. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, there's been a big interest in sort of more plant-based eating lately, and people choose to be, vegetarian or plant-based or vegan for, a variety of different reasons.
Absolutely.
I've always been a big veggie fan, so
Yeah.
I've always had plenty of vegetables and plants in my diet, but I started to explore, more of the plant-based proteins just so that I could advise people more, better about, how to use them, how to cook with them, what they actually need in terms of, quantity or combining different foods to be able to meet all their nutritional needs.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I've found a lot of new recipes. It's been fun. So
That's good. Yeah, no, I mean, we love coming over to your house for dinner. I mean, there's always new veggies, that we'll try at your house that maybe I didn't know how to cook, like a parsnip, for instance. I'm like, what is this? And, you'll have it in some of the meals that we've had with you guys. And it's like, oh, I'm going to have to try that. So it is, it's nice to kind of experiment and get to try different things, like that. And I love too, as you've shared with me a little bit, that you tracked your own, micronutrients with that just to see how it affected just you personally in training. And that's just, again, something that you're able to work with your clients as well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, definitely. We definitely want to, especially if, when they're making changes, we want to make sure that they're getting everything that they need for health and performance.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. I guess just so that your clients can get to know me just a hair. I don't want to talk about myself a ton. But I mean, just to go back on like personal experience, I look back at like my mom growing up. I danced for 12 years. I grew up horseback riding. I played softball. I played soccer. I was pretty active. And so she made sure that, I took care of myself in terms of chiropractic. We got massage together. Growing up, I cooked with my mom and my grandma. I mean, I look back on, not only are they some of my most fond memories, but my mom was always sure that there was, a veggie and a starch, and here's your meat. And so not only in the aspect of like, how you were raised can help shape your nutrition, but can also help shape you in terms of health and fitness. And so, well, it's a long story made short how I got into massage. I ended up coming into the massage field in 2013 as a way to do a complete 180 because I had been in property management, which is obviously something completely different.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to find a way to be able to help people. I love learning, but I hate school. So for me, it was like, how can I get the most bang for my buck? And I just found a really awesome school downstate. And obviously I love what I do now. And I also work with athletes and, medical populations as well. And so I just think that our approaches and how you and I kind of work with our clients, we can both specialize with our clients in terms of their needs and their goals. I just think it's really important. And so that's one of the reasons why I love what I do. And I get kind of invested, of course, in my clients. You want to see them do well and see them succeed, so I'm sure you can relate with that with your clients.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And it's, and I like that it's sort of but what we do is more hands-on.
Yes.
When you said, oh, you didn't really like, being in school, but having that sort of practical application along with the learning.
Yes.
I'm definitely a visual learner, or I've got to do something to learn it. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no pun intended, hands-on work here, but yeah, it's, I love learning from other folks, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do kind of this series. I'm going to be doing these chats not only with yourself, but also with a good chiropractic friend that I not only see personally but refer to, a good friend of mine as well who works with Try Again Fitness, and I know we're all kind of interrelated in the fact that I've got a couple of their athletes I work with, as you do as well. So, so I think it's just going to be, this is a great outlet for us just to kind of, casually talk to those at home who might be thirsty for more knowledge.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. So,
good. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that probably wraps it up for us today. Again, just a short little intro for each of us. So I certainly encourage both, my clients and your clients and anybody else watching just to stay tuned. Several more episodes coming, each one going to kind of break down a little bit further into nutrition with Miranda. So,
great.
Thank you.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited to talk to you again soon.
Yes, sounds good. We'll see ya.
All right. Bye, Jessie.
Bye.
Bye.